What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Film study for rookies. Today, man, we're looking at the Chargers and their OTAs. As you guys know, man, they got a new offensive coordinator, new head coach Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh. Now, the Chargers, kind of in that rebuilding stage. No more Keenan Allen and no more Mike Williams, which sounds crazy to say. On top of that, no more Eckler. Right here, you see the tackles getting in some work. But, man, it's going to be interesting to see the Chargers this year without those three guys. They still got Herbert, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And what's going to be interesting to see is, can Greg Roman get Herbert and the receivers to that next level, right? They got QJ, they got McConkey, the rookie. They got Palmer, who's shown flashes the last couple of years. You got Darius Davis, the speedster. Can Greg Roman take Herbert and these receivers to that next level? Now, Herbert has been getting a lot of slack lately. You know, he hasn't achieved this, and this, no matter what his yards are. But what nobody mentions is that nobody's ever healthy on that team. And they bring in Kellen Moore. That was bad. I'm going to say it now. That was bad because I went through Mike Williams' film last year. And it's like every pass he was in before he got hurt was like a screen pass or like a drag. You know, they'd run him on corner routes, but they'd have nothing underneath pulling the DB away from him. Kellen Moore did not know how to use that team last year. You had Davis, you had Palmer, you had Guyton on the team, I believe, last year. All those guys you could have used for screens or at least baited the DB under and then put Mike Williams over the top. And they just didn't do that. So now the question is, can Greg Roman do that? You got somebody like Quentin Johnston right here, second-year player, sophomore season. Can you get him over the hump? The next thing I want to jump into is the running backs right here, J.K. Dobbins. Now, Dobbins does have an injury history, but Greg Roman does bring him over from Baltimore. So they got Dobbins, they got Gus Edwards, also from Baltimore, and you have Isiah Spiller, Elijah Dotson. So the Chargers have a lot of running backs and two good running backs. Now, there is a little bit of an injury history, obviously, with Dobbins and Edwards, but the potential there is crazy. And before we continue, here was the most interesting part to me about the Chargers really drafting Isiah Spiller. In 2022, when they drafted him, I was like, okay, maybe they'll use him. 18 carries, 41 yards. I was like, all right, he's a rookie. Then they bring in Kellen Moore. I'm like, okay, maybe Kellen Moore is going to use him like a Zeke type role, right? They had Austin Eckler. They had Joshua Kelly. Give Spiller some reps. Get that extra yard or two. He gets 37 carries, 96 yards. That's it. Now, yes, that's not a great average, but that's not why you drafted him, or at least that's not why I think you would have drafted him. So it's going to be interesting to see. You've got Dobbins, you've got Edwards, you got Spiller, you got Elijah. They've got a nice set of running backs. Hopefully the Chargers this year will use Spiller, man. Let's keep this thing going. So now we're going to jump to some receiver stuff right here. And first up is going to be Lad McConkey. To me personally, he's not Keenan Allen, but it's Keenan Allen's replacement. Obviously, he's a bit younger, first year in the NFL. Great route runner, great hands. Next up is going to be Darius Davis, the speedster. And I'm curious to see how Roman's going to implement him in that offense. You know, Herbert's got some weapons. He definitely has some weapons. Palmer, I think, is a great, reliable receiver. QJ, hopefully he can take that next step this year. And then Lad McConkey, a rookie. Big hopes for him. Darius Davis has to get more reps, right? Even if you only use him in the screens, the flies, the jet sweeps, got to get him more reps, bring the defense down, and then bam, hit them over the top. You got QJ, you got McConkey. Let me know what you guys think. I think the Chargers have a chance to do something this year with the new head coach and offensive coordinator. We'll see what happens. A lot of young talent on that team. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Stay tuned.